Well, Braden, thank you for having me, and thank you for the 3D printed tie. We're very excited to learn about everything to do with the start of Robo3D. So I understand that this isn't your first startup you've been involved with. Can you speak about the other ventures and maybe what you learned from those?
Yeah, I think the first venture that kind of started to pick up a little bit of traction was more on the service-based side. So that was an iPhone repair business, and we did other cell phone repair stuff. And it's a whole different beast when you're dealing with a product, developing a product and coming up with a product idea and getting it manufactured, than when you're just providing a service and collecting, cash instantly, and it's processing that way. So I learned a lot from the service-based side, and then I went in and did my watch manufacturer, and from that whole process, I learned, how to, pretty much create a product completely from scratch, and then from there it was all about learning how to market and all that kind of stuff.
The iPhone repair, which is, I believe, called iGeeks, right?
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit about, what you were doing there? Who was involved with it with you? Is it still going on? Why are you no longer involved with it?
Yeah, a buddy of mine was doing it as just a kind of a side gig for friends, and I just started to, I look around and I'm like in class, and I'm talking to people and everyone's phone's broken, and I was like, this is bigger than just doing this for your friends. I'm like, this is an opportunity to really fix. You could build this up in San Diego and turn it into a small business. And so we pretty much started. We were doing it in his bedroom, started fixing these screens, and we're able to get good reviews and kind of build the business slowly, off referrals, and obviously it was all on the service-based side, so it's a little bit different of a business. Sway's still a company right now, and I was able to bring on some partners that kind of took over some of the tasks of running the business and operating it and doing the manufacturing. So, I just took my pie piece down a little bit there, but it was a different kind of business. I truly like the idea of, especially with the 3D printers, it's like you're creating something that people can use to better their lives, better the future, and there's just more opportunities and more of a give back and return kind of thing. And so that's what I didn't have that. I didn't feel that when I was doing the watches business. So it was a much different. When I saw this opportunity, I was like, this is it, right? This is the future of how we're going to create things and build things. And so it was just more of an opportunity than the watches. So that's why I took that step. But yeah, the watches are a great business. It was a fun business. It was one of the first ones that I actually started drawing up when I was in college. And I just had this idea from a watch that I found, and I was like, it's going to be a cool company. And it took me entirely too long to get a prototype done and way too much money. And so that's why, now that I look back at it, I'm like, God, if I had a Robo3D printer, this would be insane. I could have gotten this whole business started in probably a fourth of the time, if not less than that.
I noticed as this interview is going on, we have groups of other students coming in here, and it seems like kind of a revolving door. Can you kind of tell me what everyone's in here doing? And
yeah, it's this whole process, the business startup, and going from literally a dining room table to getting it, now we're in an office space and kind of expanding and growing and hiring people. It's taught me a lot about how businesses work and why they work and why they don't work and how they fail and turn upside down, all this kind of stuff. So that knowledge throughout this process to me has been more powerful. For me, it's not really about the money right now. It's about learning the experience and learning the process, so I can take that eventually and maybe go into another business down the road, because once you have the entrepreneurial bug, you can't get away from it.
I really like what you said there about how your goal for your next product is to put your current product out of business. That being said, can you talk a little bit about how you go about doing that and planning for that and developing what the next product is, and what is the next product?
Yeah, it's a lot of the ideas that we get for kind of building the next product, or it's a lot of it's crowdsourced idea. That's what's so great about doing the crowdfunding campaigns, because we've got a lot of ideas from the people about what they want in a product, what they're looking for, and the other side of it is us going, okay, what have they not thought of that they could use in the machine? And so when we're building our next machine, the one that we're working on now, it's sort of about taking what we currently have and just beefing it up and making it a much better machine. There's obviously going to be, you know, tradeaways from, you know, price and other things like that. So, but we're trying to say, hey, this first product is your basic product, one we have now, and this next one is going to be, you know, the better version of it, the prosumer model, the one that, you know, people can do more things with, can add different features to it and stuff like that. So, yeah, when we say we're trying to put the first product out of business, it's just to say, hey, we want to get people to the next product because we know the value of the next product for a person, you know, in home or in a small business, something like that, is going to be a lot more than the value of having the lower end model.
Right.
So we're just using the lower end model sort of as our fishing hook.
Right.
To get. This is I mean, being in a 3D printing business is a really unique market because when we originally got into it, you know, what we thought these machines were used for was prototyping for small businesses, people that wanted to build a product, you know, just in time before they take it and actually spend a bunch of money in mass producing it. The other side of it was there was a lot of hobbyists and people that wanted to build do-it-yourself stuff or, you know, models and, you know, the tinkerers. And since then, you know, we started to see all these new marketplaces opening up, and now we're starting to realize, like, well, there's a lot of different areas that we can take, you know, not only in a marketing standpoint, but just like the usefulness of the machine. And one of the most recent ones that was sort of, it was weird for us to kind of see this opportunity open up, but, you know, the sex toy industry is like a multi-billion-dollar industry. And, you know, we got contacted by a guy that actually uses a 3D printer to produce sex toys. And for us, it was more, you know, yeah, it's a funny talk to have and with the guys and stuff, but for us it was like, you know, wow, there's a lot of places these machines can be used. Like, you're pretty limitless on what you can do with them. And so there's so many different avenues, and a lot of them we haven't even discovered yet. So for us, it's constantly like I guess that principle. Like, every day we're starting to see new marketplaces as new materials come out, and yeah, so that's what's part of it. That's what's fun in the process, learning what new avenues we can go in, and people are the ones that are opening it.